Hello everybody and welcome to the first video of my 2019 bullet journal. Today we will set my yearly pages together and hopefully I can give you some ideas for your own new journals. So I wanted to try out a new notebook brand this time. So I switched to the Dingbats journal from my old Lemome one. There was nothing wrong with the Lemome. I just wanted to try something new and I chose this elephant version because I like the neutral gray color the most. But now let's actually get started. There are no pre-printed pages in the Dingbats journal, which I really like. So we are jumping right into the first empty page and here I will just write a simple quote for this year. In 2019, I kind of want to focus on myself and my own stuff. So that's why I thought this quote, "Follow your own star," would be really fitting to start this year. I don't have that many quotes in my journals, but I think it's nice to have something to start the year with. So I'm using this fake calligraphy font, which is really easy to create. You can do this by making each down stroke slightly thicker than the upward strokes. Otherwise, I'm leaving this page blank, so the main focus will be on the message itself. Then let's flip to the first actual page, and the first thing I like to have in my journal is a simple key page. I'm skipping over an index because I've realized I never use it, but I think a key page is a really good way to start your new journal, especially for those of you who are starting your first bullet journal this year and maybe don't remember all the keys you want to use yet. I also wanted to give a simple decoration to this page, so I'm starting by drawing these hanging vines from the top, and then on top of these I'm just making a bunch of fairly thin lines with a ruler, and in my opinion it gives such a nice effect for this simple drawing and it gives a really nice look to this whole page. There won't be many drawings on this video and not really a theme either. I like to keep the first pages of my journal pretty simple and neutral, so they will go together with all the other themes I will have here later. Okay, so the next thing I need is a year at a glance page. So I'm just writing all the months and days so I can easily find them from here when I'm using my journal later. I think all 12 months fit nicely on one page if you use small handwriting, and it also helps if you are not writing a title on this page. But this is still the most tedious page to set up. You have to be really careful to not mess up the days. I always write the starting and ending dates with a pencil beforehand, so I kind of know what I'm doing, but I still can't believe I could finish this whole spread without a single mistake. Okay, so the first full spread is done and now we can move on to the next one, which will be my future log. So I will actually use this journal only for the next 6 months and then I will start a new bullet journal because I know I can't fit a whole year into the Dingbats notebook and just my perfectionism doesn't let me start a new journal around October. I know some of you can relate to this, but anyway, the future log is the place where you can do all the long-term planning. So if you have some important event or date in few months, this is the place where you can write it down and then later move to your monthly pages when you have set them up. And I kind of wanted this page to be super pretty, and I was so inspired by this picture with a paper lantern and these cherry blossoms, so I wanted to recreate something kind of similar. So I'm starting this drawing with my light pink Tombow brush pen and I wanted to create more of a watercolor effect. So I'm using my Zig blending pen. This doesn't have any color, so you can just use this to blend together any water-based brush pens, such as the Tombows and the Zig brush pens I use a lot. But there actually wasn't that much color coming off from the Tombow after doing this for a while, so I kind of gave up this fancy technique and just went in with the actual pen. I'm creating just random color spots which will indicate the flowers later, and I wanted this drawing to be really soft looking, so I'm avoiding any detailed dark lines and kind of trying to make everything loose and not so precise. I try to use as little water as possible because I realized that this notebook doesn't handle water that well. But I was still able to blend some colors a little bit with water and my blending pen. And I could also add this super light hue of that pink color to the background. I also added some green leaves and few details to the flowers, but still keeping the outlines in bare minimum. I kinda like the end result of this page, though I'm usually trying to stay away from the normal flower themes, but I thought that maybe this was my chance to do a basic cherry blossom decoration. But let's move on. So next, I always have a page for my yearly goals. And I definitely don't like to think about these as, you know, big life changes you will give up on February. I want to set myself some realistic focus areas and things I want to start this year. I think a good way to start setting your yearly goals is by first thinking about your long-term goal. When you have a vision of where you want to be in life, maybe in the next 5 years or so, it's easier to start to reflect that vision for this day and then think about some smaller steps you could take to get closer to that vision. So I'm setting up 4 categories I want to focus on this year, and then from each of these categories I'm coming up with few actual steps or actions I can take to get closer to my main goal. Your goals can be about anything. I just think it's a really good way to think backwards from a big picture, so you can start to figure out what you're supposed to be doing at this moment or this year to make that long-term vision happen. I hope that the explanation made any sense. But on the next page, I'm setting up my Japanese studying goals. I'm studying Japanese by myself, so this is kind of a way to me to keep myself doing that. So I guess this page is kind of personal to me, but actually something like this could be used for learning or improving any new or old skill. Okay, but I think that's it for the goals. So let's move on to the next spread, which will be about money stuff. So I like to have some sort of money tracker where I can track my yearly expenses and savings. I did this for the past year and it definitely was the biggest motivation for me to save money. So I definitely want to have this kind of page also in my new bullet journal. So basically I'm just setting up a date on every month to check how much money I have on my bank account, and then I can compare that amount to what I had last month. And then I will list all this other information such as how much salary I got this month. And even though this journal is only for the next 6 months, I have all 12 months in here because I will probably just copy this whole thing to my next journal in July. Then something I definitely felt like I needed in my last journal is a place for all the bills I'm supposed to pay. I have some things like rent I have to pay every month, and then there are some things like subscriptions or insurance that you have to pay only a few times a year. Anyway, I never remember if I have paid everything I was supposed to, so I hope this page will help me with that. Then there was still some room left on this page, so I'm filling it with this simple wish list where I can write down some home or clothing stuff I want to find. And then I have this section for some bigger purchases. I kind of have to save a little bit more. And by the way, I just want to say I hope you don't mind that there are no decorations on these pages and that they are just kind of plain and simple, but I feel like this way they serve their purpose the best and these pages won't end up too cluttered. Okay, but let's move on again. So the next whole spread will be for things that are supposed to be good for me. I'm calling this the feel good page, which was maybe a little bit weird. I could have thought another title for this page. But anyway, I will make 2 6-month calendar on this page, kind of like habit trackers for the whole 6 months. So the other calendar will be for marking the days I did yoga or some other type of exercise. And then the other one will be for my overall energy and productivity. So in this one, I will probably have some kind of scale of colors and then mark every day with that certain color. And I'm doing this because I'm interested to see if there are some patterns during the year, because I feel like sometimes I'm just feeling down for no reason, and I'm just curious to know if this kind of thing would give me some answers to that. Also, I want to see if there is some relation between my energy levels and doing yoga or exercising. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to see the results from this page. The next page will be super simple, and this will be for any wise words or good advice I have heard. I read some books about self-improvement last year, and I wished I had some place to collect all those good advice I got from those books. So I hope that after 6 months I will have some inspirational words collected on this page. This spread looks so plain right now, but it doesn't matter because it will be filled with everything later. Then flipping the next empty page, and this will be for my bookshelf. So it will be a list for all the books and audiobooks I want to read or listen. I always promise myself to read more books every year, but I still somehow have so many that I didn't read yet. But you know, I still like to keep them in this one place where I can be reminded of an interesting book if I feel like reading one. I used this typewriter font on the title to make it a little bit different from the other pages, and then I just have this super simple table which will keep this whole page very organized. The next page is probably not that useful for all of you, but this is for my YouTube and other content ideas. So first I listed all the months so I can kind of plan the videos ahead, and then in the bottom I just have this simple list where I can write all random video ideas. Then finally we are on the last spread of my 2019 bullet journal setup. I feel like this video was already 2000 years long, which is why I will make a whole separate video about my January setup. So this spread will be dedicated to my school stuff. So on this first page I will have my school related future log. I like to have this kind of place for all the projects and exercises, so it's easier for me to schedule time for all my individual tasks. And yeah, I hope this one page will be enough for me. It looks a little bit full right now. But anyway, then on the next page I will have my timetables for the second semester, which in my university is divided into 2 separate periods. I realized that on September I was so excited to plan all kinds of things to my journal for my school year, but now literally all my excitement and energy for school is used, so I have to survive with this like super basic layout. And oh my god, that's finally all. I hope you got some ideas for your own yearly setups, and I would also love to hear your must-have pages in the beginning of your bullet journal. Somehow this is always the place where I want to try out new things and find new exciting methods to improve my productivity or something. So definitely let me know if I forgot something important in your opinion. But that's it guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you will have an amazing new year and holiday season. My January plan with me video will be up in few days. So if you are new here and you want to see more bullet journaling videos from me, definitely consider subscribing to my channel and turning on the notifications. But that's that. I hope all of you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and see you in my next one. Bye bye!